Welcome to Action Club Podcast, your weekly hangout for great conversations, big laughs, and even better vibes. I'm DeMarco Crum, joined by Ben Weber and Tanner Spees. This week we watched SWAT, and we can't wait to dive in and share our thoughts. Whether you're listening or watching, we're glad you're here. If you enjoy the show, don't forget to share it with your friends and follow us on Spotify, Instagram, and YouTube. Now, let's get into it.
Fellas, what's up?
Hey.
We're rocking.
Hello.
We're rolling. So, SWAT. What do you guys think?
It's moody.
It's definitely a moody, angsty was the word that we used
Yes,
here.
It's very angsty.
Quite a lot.
Yes.
A stark difference from last week's
Oh my god.
movie.
Yeah.
Of The Night Comes for Us, which was probably the most violent movie that we've watched so far, I think.
Very, very gory.
Very gory, violent, nonstop violence, and this was very clearly PG-13. I did like it. It was a good movie.
It was fun once it got out of its feelings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's definitely some characters in here that are easily what the category of like, why the fuck are they in this movie?
Unlikable too. Yeah.
Unlikable.
Absolutely.
And like, what was the point? Like, we'll get into it, but
Characters that could easily be, I agree.
yeah,
There's a lot
after
of
the
them,
first 20, 30 minutes or so, well, actually no, there's just some chunks of time that were very non-action
Emo.
yeah
Emo.
But otherwise I thought it was a good movie. Ben?
Yeah, once it gets rolling, then it's pretty. Once I feel like once he's like the $100 million bounty is thrown down,
Yeah.
then it's just nonstop.
Then it goes.
Then
for
it's
an
on.
hour.
Yep.
Yeah. But it's a little bit of a slog in the beginning to get. Well, no, I like
they start with an action scene, and then you have to put the A-team together.
Yeah.
Just kind of silly 90s.
Yeah, you got to get through the
Action-y,
90s.
yeah.
Like the captain is such a douchebag. Like
Captain Fuller. Oh man.
support your people, man. Like
Yeah.
put them in the best position to do a good job.
Yeah.
You know,
He's not.
instead of like if you don't believe in these people to do anything, then why don't you get some different people?
Agreed.
Sorry.
Yeah. What did you think, DeMarco? This was your choice.
Yeah, it's your movie.
Oh my god. This is
Why
probably
did we watch this movie?
We watched this movie because it is one of
My favorites of this era, kind of the early 2000s action movie. This is straight off my dad's bookshelf, DVD shelf when I was a kid. And I watched this right around the same time that I watched Fast and Furious, Triple X, Pitch Black, all those like early 2000s action movies. And it was fun, man. It's funny watching it as an adult. When I was a teenager, I was 13. I was like, oh man, these are cool action scenes, and every close up with the weapon, it's that stuff's still cool, obviously, but it was funny to watch it now many years later, because I hadn't seen it in probably 10 years. But it's fun, man. It's a fun cop action thriller. There's some great wisecracking lines. Samuel L. Jackson is just, he's the guy giving speeches, giving the pep talks and just being funny. And it's a pretty solid cast. Like it's a fun cast, and they seem like a cool crew. Like I would hang with them. You know what I mean? So
Except for TJ.
it's
fuck TJ.
Not
except
TJ.
for TJ.
Yeah. And Gamble.
and for
Fucking
Gamble.
Hurt Locker.
If Gamble's like whatever, if you catch him on a good day, he's probably fun. But
He didn't seem
if
like
he's
he seemed from the jump, he seemed like some douche that I would not.
he
go
is
for.
even a problem when he's just like shooting pool in
Yeah.
the background. It's like, oh man, he's even doing that like a dick.
For fuck's sake, not this guy again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked Jeremy Renner
As a villain, though, I feel like he had some good villain energy. I enjoyed that.
He did.
It's similar to his role in The Town, where he's
very much
just
so.
got this giant chip on his shoulder.
He had good villain energy, but for me, it was like less of a villain that's very menacing and and I don't know, fearing, and more of like, fuck this guy, man. Like, somebody shoot him.
Yeah.
You know, he was
Yeah.
more like an irritating villain, and like for
Yeah.
fuck's sake. Then
He's the kind of guy you see like at the gym.
Him, you know, putting on Axe body spray, you know, crushing a Four Loco. You know what I mean? He's got that Chad vibe.
Four Locos. Have you had Four Locos?
It's been a
you're
while.
A little old for that.
It's
so.
been no. I was around when Four Loco, like the
No,
real
Ben
Four
remembers
Loko.
Four
The
Locos
first
in their
one?
prime.
The first ones.
Yeah,
I
fuck.
loved Four Locos.
So did everyone.
That was
but my body
a
didn't
whole
love
party, right, in one can.
It was a whole
really
party.
was a whole party.
It can.
And a
This
whole
podcast is
sickness.
sponsored by Four Loco. No.
Well, they brought
But
it
if
back.
you're still making drinks, you can sponsor us.
They had Four
That's
Loco
right.
like 2.0, and it just was not the same. It didn't
Yeah.
hit right.
Really?
So quick little tangent about Four Loco. I'm sure you guys heard this same
I
thing.
love a Four Loco tangent.
So
Unexpected.
I saw a story online like years ago, back when Four Loco was still, you know, Four Loco original was very much a thing. My buddies and I, we called it unicorn blood because it just destroyed you, obviously.
For the kids out there, it was just Red Bull with a lot of booze.
For the kids out there, that's right.
Well, speaking of kids,
Yeah, I guess
parents
caffeinated
were
booze.
buying
Malt-
parents
was
were
it malt
buying their
liquor?
I
kids.
don't know.
I think
No
it was
one knew.
malt liquor.
No one knew what.
I don't
It's
know.
true. No one knew was in it.
It was a proprietary
mystery
blend for
unicorn
sure.
blood. That's what it was.
You didn't want to ask either.
No,
But parents
no.
were buying it for their kids, thinking that they were just energy drinks and not realizing that they had alcohol in them. So this is like multi-layered. There's like multiple problems with this already. But these kids were actually getting like serious like health problems. They were getting, obviously not health problems. I'm exaggerating, but like
drunk.
getting super drunk, super
Shit-faced.
dehydrated. Well, like because it was a thing where parents would get their kids energy drinks for like baseball games and
Down this
softball games
before
and
your
stuff.
workout. Yeah.
So, which is like, you know, it's a pre-workout, you know, it's a pre-workout and a party, you know.
It's a pre-workout. I saw this video of this girl who ran the marathon fucking shit-faced. So, you know, if she can
I
run
believe
the
it.
marathon shit-faced, then you can do anything.
Once
after
again,
Four
listen,
Loko.
parents out there, watch out. Your kids are going to try to talk you into doing some stupid shit.
Always.
Yes.
That's
You
the
gotta-
job as the child.
You got to do your own research.
You got to look at the labels, man.
You
Don't
gotta
trust the
look at
children.
labels, yeah. Don't trust
So-
anyone. As is clear in this movie.
No.
Don't trust anyone.
No one trusts anyone.
No one trusts anyone.
That's right. You know, and it's like I always say, you're either SWAT or you're not. So just
Do you?
remember.
I have a feeling I've ever heard you say that.
When's the last time you said that?
I think I said it, you know, probably
Last week, you know, I forget. So, but for anyone who obviously hasn't seen this movie, SWAT, awesome action thriller, came out in 2003, directed by Clark Johnson, and has a really awesome kick-ass cast put together. It's got Colin Farrell, Samuel L. Jackson, Jeremy Renner, LL Cool J, and Michelle Rodriguez, and a bunch of awesome cameos and really cool side characters that make this movie even more fun. So, do you want to,
useless ones too.
Ben, should we talk about The Wire? I know you're a Wire fan like I am.
Oh, sure. I mean, there's a couple faces from The Wire.
we got to talk The Wire. Yeah. So
The first obvious one that came out, obviously our boy who rescued the bad guy, Hark from The Wire, who was a cop, and then he
Yep.
went on to, he took on his other role later in the show. Fun story. The guy, oh, come on, brain. Reggie Cathy. the guy who played Lieutenant Velasquez, he was in The Wire, and he was in House of Cards. So he was actually the barbecue guy, the guy with the barbecue joint that Kevin Spacey's character would go to. So
All right, let's go. Hold on. Don't kill me. What is The Wire?
Oh, Tanner. I'm so glad you asked, honestly.
I've heard, people talk about, have you seen The Wire,
Central,
The Wire, blah blah blah.
A lot of it's a meme factory also.
Okay.
Yes.
Right. Haven't seen it. After people say like, "Oh, you should watch it," guess what I do? I don't fucking watch it. So I don't know what it's about. I don't know anything about it.
HBO
Is it a show?
crime
Is it
show.
a movie?
Ran for 5 seasons.
I will say, if you're expecting like NYPD Blue or SWAT or something that's like super actiony, lots of shootouts and firefights and stuff, it's definitely not that at all. It's very cerebral. There's a lot of dialogue. There's a lot of long form storytelling.
A whole
season.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
Yeah. It is so well written, and I highly recommend it.
I mean, in the same, not the same type, but in the same format as like Reacher, where you're doing a whole case over a whole season, or not as much violence.
A lot more characters and storylines.
Yeah.
A lot more.
Because you spend as much time with the bad guys as you do with the good guys.
Oh, okay.
And sometimes the good guys aren't that good. Sometimes the bad guys aren't that bad.
Yeah, you get to see a different side of them.
And it shows you. So this show really takes you into Baltimore, and it takes you in all like different angles. Each season is dedicated to a certain kind of piece of the organized crime, thing, if you will. First season's police, on the street, the corner boys, as they're called, the kids slinging the drugs, and Avon Barksdale, the guy in charge of everything. The second season goes into like the shipping containers.
Okay, I got it. This isn't a podcast about The Wire.
This is a podcast about SWAT.
Oh, that's true. SWAT. Yeah, we're not. Yeah, we're not sponsored by The Wire.
He took 3 sentences on the first season. That's not how it goes. You go,
my man.
First scene's about police. Second police about blah 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 blah. We're done. Good.
I just want you to know how passionate I am
about The Wire.
And
I know you'll never watch it.
Getting into like too long didn't read territory for Tanner.
I'm just trying to think about,
could have been an email.
It could have been an email. It could have been
an email. And it's funny as I have
too far away from SWAT. We've already talked about Four Locos for 3 minutes.
Funny story.
This is great. So yeah, funny story about Four Loco.
Okay.
All right, one more thing about The Wire, then I will shut up and we can move on.
I don't mind the Wire connection, but we just have to connect.
All right, well, here's a Wire connection. Here's a Wire to The Wire. So Clark Johnson, the director of this movie, was on The Wire and a writer for The Wire. So that was what got me on the whole thing with The Wire. So he was one of the writers, and he was one of the characters. In season 5, I believe, it covers the newspaper. He's one of the editors of the newspaper.
And he pops up in the movie briefly.
And he pops up in the movie very briefly. Yeah. Yeah. So it's fun. So we don't have to talk about The Wire anymore. Sorry.
I'm just trying to keep it all connected. That's all.
Let's contain it. Yeah.
The Wire research.
Let's definitely contain it. Well, because that's my brain.
He did a full paragraph on season.
I was ready, man.
Then
I was putting together my dissertation.
No. Shut it down.
Yeah. You know what that was like? That was like Chris Pratt in Parks and Rec, when he's just giving the plot of all the movies. He does like, and that's Roadhouse. He's like rips his throat right out.
What's Parks and Rec? Can you describe?
Yeah, let's get into it. Well,
Rec is short
so
for recreation.
Tanner, you opened up a can of worms because I read an article a few years ago that basically said that Parks and Rec is The Wire, but a less dark version of it, because it takes you deep into like the local government and the corruption. There's a compelling case for it. It's kind of funny.
Back to The Wire here. Off again. DeMarco
all roads lead back to The Wire.
90 minutes on SWAT, but we've spent half an hour.
DeMarco's theory
that
The Wire, SWAT, and Parks and Rec all happen in the same universe, the same shared interconnected universe.
We're moving on. I actually have I have 2 really fun stories regarding SWAT teams and shooting guns at a range. So the first story, When I went to college, I took a military science class, and I was hanging out with a bunch of ROTC cats. And on one of the days, the professor, who was a major in the Army, he was a light infantry officer. He took us to go hang out with the local Burlington PD SWAT. Although they weren't called SWAT, they were called the like rapid
Hostage
response
rescue?
force.
Oh, rapid response.
Yeah, it was like rapid response team. RDI. It's something I can't remember what it was. It was basically SWAT. They
What's
just didn't
wrong
call
with
themselves
SWAT?
SWAT.
Why wouldn't they call it SWAT?
Because they're not
I'm not
SWAT.
sure why.
They
Yeah,
weren't that special.
But the cool thing is,
They weren't using
so
special weapons.
we met up with these guys. We met them up at a
Fast.
crack house, a formerly used crack house, and they taught us how to clear rooms. We did
Oh.
room breaching tactics. So we stacked up against
former crack house.
former
Active.
crack house. Yeah.
Okay.
They got
Yeah.
a little something while they're there.
Yeah.
So I didn't get to hold the shield. I wasn't that cool, but they did put us in the gear, and I got to carry an M4 and, stack up, line up, and go in. We went and spread out just like in the movies. And then in one of the other runs, I just held a
This sounds hazardous
handgun.
for
I was gonna
college
say,
kids.
It was fun.
Did they? Are you shooting blanks? Are the weapons
There were
empty?
yeah. So it was
There were no rounds. There were no rounds at all.
Okay.
There was no blanks, nothing like that. We just kind of ran through the motions. And every single time before we handed a weapon over, they opened, they cleared it and showed you that there wasn't a round chambered. It was very safe. Although, fun
In the
story,
crack
after
house.
we ran, yeah, in the crack house, after we ran through a few rounds of, doing the room clearing, they threw a real flashbang in there. It's fucking loud, man. It was really fun. So
Okay.
it's good times. So
Yeah.
I
That
can
sounds
say that
upsetting.
I did some SWAT training with non-SWAT people.
Yeah.
So shout out to the Burlington, North Carolina Police Department. Thanks for letting me hang out with you. So it was fun.
I have a fun story.
Oh, excellent.
When I was briefly a firearms instructor in Los Angeles, we were the firearms instructors for the LAPD and the LAPD SWAT, and our shoot house was their training shoot house.
Dude, that's awesome.
I don't think that I, did the shoot house with any LAPD SWAT members, but definitely a fair amount of, military and special forces personnel. Definitely a lot of cops came through there.
Sure.
But the shooting range and specifically the shoot house that we had there was their main training facility. So that was cool.
Man.
I've definitely done some of that stuff with live rounds.
Oh yeah, see, that's cool.
But I was at a, it wasn't like a class and we were just going for fun. It was just like that's what they do there all the time.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, that was fun. That was definitely fun and crazy, very difficult. I can't imagine, doing that with people who are trying to shoot guns back at you.
Oh, no kidding.
That seems
and you get yeah. Oh, it's
awful.
crazy.
Do you think that gives you both a greater appreciation for what's happening in the movie?
For this movie?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Well, they fucking landed a plane on a bridge.
So Tanner is familiar with the geography of Los Angeles. And when, we're going to skip ahead a little bit in the movie here. Fun story.
Let's do it.
Tanner is like, there's no fucking way they're going to land the plane on that bridge. It's not wide enough. It's not long enough, whatever.
You sound just like me.
And I said, it's not a documentary, Tanner.
It's not a documentary, Tanner.
You did mention.
And then the CGI took over.
I was upset.
And the computer generated a plane and landing on the bridge.
I was upset.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it
keep
definitely gives me a better appreciation for any kind of this stuff. Having done it with paper targets and shit. But yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Oh, yeah. And Tanner, even more
than I do, but just a little bit of movement and your heart rate being a little bit elevated can drastically affect your accuracy with a weapon. It's pretty insane, man. To be able to move like that and fire accurately is not as easy as it looks in the movies. It's pretty freaking tough.
No, it's a gift and a
impressive.
curse to know this kind of stuff, because then when you're watching action movies and seeing them do this like fucking shoot and then the roll and then the other headshots, and I'm like, you're not even holding the gun right. It's like, you know. But yes, definitely any kind of movement will do a lot. Does a lot.
Speaking of not holding the gun right,
I went to a gun range one time with the same group that I was in the class with. We got to do some cool shit, man. It was fun. And we went to a gun range, and one of the guys in our class, he stepped up into his lane to take his turn. Now, we were shooting like nine mils. I can't remember what they were, but he held his weapon sideways to shoot. And the instructor, before he even he raised it up, and before he even had his finger on the trigger, the instructor said, "We don't do that gangster shit in here. We don't do that shit."
Yeah. Was he escorted out?
No. The guy with the instructor was he was quite patient with us, and he just he kind of corrected him, and then he was able to go get go his thing. But he had to explain to him you just don't do that. So,
okay. All right. I have one more funny story, and then
I'm down. Let's do it.
I swear.
Next time we're doing a drinking game. Every time somebody says,
"All right,
fun story,"
I have one more.
Take a shot.
This reminded me, and I won't say their name because this person will kill me. But I went with somebody. And I have to say their name. That's the only way. Okay. Anyway, probably 10+ years ago, I went with my therapist to the gun range.
Interesting approach. I like that.
Yeah. So I went with my therapist to the gun range, and
this sounds like the plot of a movie.
And I was showing him, and so he was going up. It was his first time shooting a gun, and so he's in the little gun range booth, and he finishes his shooting, and immediately, just out of instinct, right, he turns with the gun outside towards it. I was like, no.
Oh shit, no.
He muzzled half of the gun range, and I was like, no, we don't do that. But anyway, that's my mini fun story, and that's my last one. I swear,
the funnest one.
Good times.
I know it.
I
I remember it very vividly.
Score.
Yeah,
that's pretty fun.
Yeah, I got to bring that up to him next time I talk to him.
And he's still
he's still my therapist. He's been my therapist for almost 16 years.
How's that going?
Great. How's that going? You guys know.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I'd say it's pretty solid process. Well, you know what? We went
on some nice wild little tangents here, but I'm all for it. We're talking about The Wire. We're talking about gun ranges and shooting weapons with SWAT teams.
Four
that's
Locos.
Cool, man.
Yeah,
and
but
Four
what about
Locos.
The action adventure movie SWAT.
Yes.
What about the
the 2003 action thriller?
Oh my god. Yeah, I mean it's a super fun movie, like I said, and I feel like let's jump into some of these categories and let's have some fun, because some of these are going to be tough. We're gonna have to work this out together.
There's one of them I was thinking about during the movie and I came to a very hard answer. We'll get there.
All right. Don't tease me, Ben. Jeez, you're killing me, man. So
no one take
first
that
one we
bait.
got
No one take that bait.
Yeah, right. It's bait. Polly Award for the most useless character.
The sister who he dated for street dated.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that about? She played no part in the entire movie.
Her part was showing us how low jeans can ride.
You're right. That's true.
That's a good point.
And then they talked about she came up 3 more times in the movie.
Yeah, but it meant nothing.
No. See,
there was no storyline.
No. Because this guy in the unit with the mustache.
Yeah.
At first, when they get to SWAT camp, that dude's like, fuck you. You fucking fucked up things with my sister. She's upset. You suck. And then later in the movie,
he brings her up again. I know.
He's like, yo. But you were maybe good for my sister, and it would be cool if you called.
It's just
this is
dumbest fucking character.
Feelings. Just the sister is just a device to show how
that's one thing.
His relationship with this other character changes over time.
Lots of feelings. That's right.
You know, this is a good time to bring this up, and maybe this occurred to you guys, but this is a sports movie, right?
It
The
is a
SWAT
sports
team.
movie, yeah.
They're just like, the end is just a big game,
That's true.
right? They gotta get the team tightened up.
They do.
They gotta get the relationships squared away.
They do.
Is this Longest
they
Yard?
got-
Is this like the misfit
crew that pulls it out?
I mean, it's just a sports movie with target practice.
I'm always here for Ben's breakdown, and it's always right on. You're always 100%.
When I was
on
watching
point.
it, I was like, oh, Colin Farrell's like the quarterback, and
Yeah,
What's Hondo?
he's the coach.
Samuel L's the coach, and Fuller is the asshole manager / owner who sucks.
Yeah,
and
he's the
does
owner.
nothing.
Yep. And then, Jeremy Renner's
He's
playing for the other team,
Robert
now,
Kraft.
so to speak.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Captain Fuller is a solid candidate for like most useless character because he does nothing other than piss people off. Although he does inspire people to
but
do better.
But
he just sucks.
He's there for
I mean,
more of a
we
reason than
like-
the fucking sister is.
We already have a villain, and I don't know why we need to doubt these people more. He's just there to make you doubt them, he's just making their lives harder.
Yeah, but
to do nothing.
Without him, then they would still have a normal SWAT team, or they wouldn't. There would be no scene of getting the team together to beat Fuller at his own bullshit kind of thing and prove that we're the stuff. We set the record because we're the best and blah blah blah. Without him, you wouldn't have that.
Yeah, it's true.
So I had three written
down, and I had the ex-girlfriend written down. I had Fuller, and then my third one was the guy that was working the gun cage with Street. Now, I'm not gonna lie, he seemed like a nice guy. He's a cool hang. He's a cool probably post work. I mean, he doesn't drink beer obviously because that was a whole big thing with his character. But he was sneaking the fast food and drinking Dr. Pepper. Also, lots of Dr. Pepper in this movie.
Yeah, but he's just there to tell us how awesome Hondo is.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, he hypes.
That's
he
his
hypes
job
up Hondo.
less vulgar way.
Hondo's hype man.
And he's got some he's got locker room energy. He's a nice guy. He's positive, upbeat. He's like, oh shit, Hondo's here, man. It's he's a hype man. So
yeah.
Are we gonna go with the ex-girlfriend? Is that the winner? What do we think?
I mean, she's cute. I don't know.
Ben likes her.
You saw her one fucking time.
This is enough.
That was enough?
Yeah.
I didn't think she was that cute. I thought she was very, in
I think
the
she did
aesthetics of the movie.
I think she made the
but I
right
don't think she
move.
was
I
that
think
cute.
Colin Farrell is trouble. She got out of there.
Yeah, he is trouble, but
He's a head case.
he's always
And
he's a head case
definitely
in
a
and out
ladies'
of this
man.
movie.
You definitely
yeah.
pick up the fact that he's
I
a bunch
feel
of
like
ladies in town.
every character had a lot of value.
Who the fuck are you? What have you done with Ben?
I don't know.
This is like
The
random
gun
to having a
cage
child
guy,
Ben.
I would say. The gun cage guy.
Yeah,
The gun cage guy is fairly useless, but I still think it's his sister.
Well, I love how
He
he
just
was
doesn't wanna be
talking to
wrong.
Hondo, and he's like, "Yeah, we'll have it ready for you, Sarge. Yeah, no problem." And Street literally was going to do all the work because, he's like, "Yeah, I need it by tomorrow 9 a.m." Yep, we'll do, Sergeant. Good seeing
Well,
you."
Street was like, oof, this gun is awesome. Look at it. It's got
Yeah.
this special trigger and the
Yeah.
gate over here.
Mhm.
Ooh.
Yeah,
He did say that.
He did when they were in Street's apartment. You could see there's copies of Gun World magazine on the
Oh,
table. He's a gun
Yeah.
nut.
I can see that.
and a poster of one of our earlier Action Club movies
Yes.
Bullet.
Bullet.
of Bullet,
Steve
which
McQueen.
is cool.
It's a good eye.
There's another Steve McQueen
Steve
reference later when they're just hanging out in the drained pool and the dude is throwing the baseball at the wall.
Oh yeah,
And that's a reference to Steve McQueen's character in The Great Escape. But I don't know. My deep cut there.
sick.
That is a deep cut.
This is why we have Ben on this.
this podcast because he's our guy. He knows.
Yeah.
Man, yeah, gun cage guy. I can't remember what his name is. That's how unmemorable he is. So let's flip it a little bit. Bishop Award for most underrated character. I'm all about Reg E. Cathy, the guy I just mentioned to you earlier, who was on The Wire. You ever heard of that show, Tanner, The Wire? And
If
House
you
of
could
Cards.
explain
I
each
think he's
season in
cool.
great detail.
Check out
Lieutenant-
DeMarco's solo pod, The Wire.
You're
The Wire.
they're
We
gonna
go
mute-
through every episode.
I better shut up about it. You're gonna cut my wire. No, I think he was a cool guy, Lieutenant Velasquez. He
Is that a
vouched for.
vasectomy? Cutting the wire?
Yeah.
No, I think he was. I think so.
Fair
Lieutenant
fight.
Velasquez. He's the one that essentially keeps Street from getting, kicked out, and just gives him a shot. Like, oh, put him in the cage, give him a shot to get back on the team. He's there for those like super awesome bro moment fist bumps with Samuel. They have like 3 or 4 of them after every successful training exercise. Like he's a cool dude. He's got he's bird in the sky. He's got Overwatch. Like I'm digging it. I'm throwing him in. He's my contender.
Okay. I don't know the name of my character, but he drives their big SWAT RV all over the place. And he has a line at the end of the movie. Where to now? I suspect
that's the guy that you're
I
voting
suspect
for,
he's
Bob?
from the old TV show. But that guy, all he's doing is driving that
I
RV
think he
around.
is.
But they need all that gear all the time.
He's probably he is probably a deep cut from the original.
Definitely.
show.
Gotta have the
Well,
gear.
the other guy is. The other
Well,
guy, the
so
older
I
guy,
was
He's
on
like,
the
Let's
on the
mount up.
IMDb page, and all the people that were still alive from the old TV show like pop up in the movie
Oh, perfect.
Oh yeah.
in various.
What?
Easter eggy
Was it any of
spots.
the guys that were?
Or on the bus. The
Anybody
prison
who looks
transport bus or
too
no?
old to be there is from the old TV show.
Anyone who should
That's
have
a
been
good-
retired but isn't.
Just use that measure.
That's fair. That's fair. That's a good rule of thumb. Tanner, you got one?
No, I think the lieutenant is a solid answer. That would probably be the answer
And
that
he
I go with.
sucks.
Okay.
I dig it.
Moving on.
Best stunt.
There's just a lot of the same stuff
There was a lot
of like
It kinda
running
is,
and
yeah.
shooting. Running,
Yeah.
you run, you stop, shoot, and then you run again.
That's true.
There's some like rolling in the grass, but there's not a lot of like spectacular stunt stuff.
The plane
That is
landing
true.
on the 6th Street Bridge is spectacular.
Yeah, that's like
No, I think the most stunty stunt that I can think
I'd
of
compare that to
is
the T-Rex in Jurassic Park, right? Like it's just like that's a big CGI shot.
I mean there's not I think the driving portions where they they lose the car and like that kind of stuff, or even the trucks hitting
the
the
truck.
other cars.
Anytime
That's
a
the
truck
most
rams in is cool.
stunty stunts that where it
Mm.
happened in there that were
Oh, the limo
the limo.
pit maneuvering the plane,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
and her also was like, what?
Tell me when a fucking limo can pit maneuver
Plane.
20,000
Airplane.
pound plane.
Yeah. Make
It
it
would
make
bounce
sense.
off.
It would bounce off or burst into a million pieces. If you try to ram a fucking plane's wheel that's moving at 150 miles an hour, although they were moving at
That's a much shorter bridge.
it's a short bridge between the fucking arches. The amount of time that he was speeding
It
up.
really
And what
bugs
if the
Tanner.
plane burst into flames when it crashed? Because aren't the wings full of fuel?
I mean, it was on fire.
Wouldn't it like kaboom?
Most of the time, I would say yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
But they just got really lucky and it didn't kaboom.
So
And then they pulled a bunch of fucking vehicles in right as close as possible as they could for safety.
it didn't look like
Yeah.
anybody was in like any of the actors were in a lot of danger.
TJ
Agreed.
stuck in the plane.
No, I mean the actors.
Oh,
You
they
know,
were not. No, it's almost like it was a fake plane.
It's
Yeah.
almost like it's a fake plane.
Almost.
do you have an opinion
I
on
will
this one?
No, I pretty much agree with you.
Although I will say I did like the low shot of them coming down off the helicopter in the first scene. That was pretty cool. Them
Mhm.
like fast roping out of it, kind of Black Hawk Down style. That's always cool to
Mhm.
watch, So, but I agree with you. That's pretty much it. I mean, it's gun. There's a lot of like gun porn, a lot of shooting,
gun stuff. Yeah,
Mhm.
a lot of gunplay,
Stunts.
which is fun. So
yeah,
But yeah, I
fun
agree
gun
with you.
stuff, but not necessarily any spectacular like, oh, that stunt was amazing type thing. Yeah, but it was good. It was fun.
Correct.
Right. So category number 3, in case anyone wanted to know, would this main character make your starting 5 to protect you for 48 hours?
No,
Hell no.
because we already have Jack from Speed, who has
Jack
the
from
same
Speed is in your fucking top 5.
over any of these people.
Okay,
He's
but
got literally the same job, and he's better at it. And yeah, by the way, Jack from Speed might
in
be
your
on my
top
team.
5?
Yeah,
It's crazy.
he pretty much handles that whole movie on his own.
Yeah, but just because you he didn't. No,
He's also John Wick.
no,
And
that's
he's
not how
Neo.
that works.
And he's
I just
Johnny
wanted a
Mnemonic.
team that is only Keanu
Only
Reeves
Keanu
roles.
Reeves.
Yeah.
Neo,
Keanu
John
variants.
Wick.
I guess what I'm saying is, like, if I'm gonna have a SWAT person, I already have my SWAT person. If it's like fantasy football roster, right? And you're like gonna move a tight end into your lineup,
Yeah.
I already got my tight end sorted.
You were right about fantasy football. I have changed a lot of my team from when we started.
Yeah.
When we started fantasy football, I was like, this is my team. It's locked in for good. And Ben's like, you're
Yep.
going to have like maybe 2 players left from your original team.
Exactly.
And I have like maybe 2 players left.
At least half. It will change every year.
Hey, you gotta. Some people suck.
I'm gonna say
Jim Street is a potential in my top 5. Former
Really?
SEAL,
Why?
SWAT
For all
officer,
because of the all the
explosives
emotion?
expert. Yeah,
This
I'm
is what I'm
feeling him.
saying, though.
I'm feeling the vibe.
What does he do better for you that Jack from Speed can't do or wouldn't do?
Actually, no.
He's
I
not on a
have to
bus
admit
that's,
you're right,
you
Ben.
know, moving.
I
to
think
explode.
where Jack especially has the edge is he's very creative. He's a very creative problem solver.
Yeah,
and he
he's
really
like-
figures out shit. You're right. He
he's
really
on
does
his
run the
own.
movie. That's a good point. Yeah, it's got to be Jack. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, if it's gonna be a
The
SWAT
only
guy,
time
it's
you
got to be
see him
Jack.
is when he's on a fucking bus that's speeding.
No, remember he's going through the tunnel and he's like the
Okay.
bus is blowing up when he's
Yeah,
getting his
but-
coffee.
Pop
I mean-
quiz, hot shot.
And he's in
You've
the
got a bomb on
elevator.
the bus.
Okay. All right. You're right. You're right.
Do we have to watch Speed again?
No, you're right.
Do we have to rewatch
might
Speed,
have to.
so to speak?
Well,
No.
then Tanner can really enjoy the scene with the bus going off the ramp. That scene
When the
really
bus
pissed
flies?
Tanner off.
I'm
It tilts up and
It was
flies.
on the same fucking level. There's no
I know.
physical way it could have happened.
I'm pretty
I
sure
know.
I hit a speed bump here in the town we live
I
in
got more
at
air
50
than that
miles an
fucker.
hour. No, and I didn't go like 200 yards in the air.
What would
Yeah.
happen is what happens to all the minis in the Italian job when they go off any jump. They just go fucking straight down, and you're like, how the fuck is that still? I also watched Born Identity where he goes down the stairs in the Mini, and it's like all
So
those cars
good.
when they take a jump,
No.
they like nose dive, and you're like, oh, they're still driving.
The
Yeah.
engine's in the front.
Yeah, but the bus is going across like a 75-foot gap. It weighs so much. By the time
We
it's
can.
like fully off it should be, crashing already into the ground.
This is becoming my favorite part of the show. Things that piss Tanner off because they're
Oh,
not
God.
realistic.
The
Especially if it's
non-documentary.
unrealistic and it's LA related, because then it's just especially infuriates
true.
him.
That's true.
Check out
That's not
Tanner's
realistic,
Instagram
yeah.
stories for more content.
Yeah, exactly. You can watch me
Oh my
rant about
God.
them on Instagram.
And if you guys haven't seen this movie Speed, holy fuck, let me tell you, there's a stupid scene on the bus. That would be really
Yeah.
fun. Yeah, I'm gonna
With no ramp.
I like Colin Farrell in this movie, but yeah, Jack wins out because it's Keanu, and let's be honest, Keanu's the guy. Although I don't know if Jack's in my top 5. He's definitely a contender for sure.
I don't think either of them are in my top 5, but I do think Keanu is better in this position.
I think about it as like
it's not in my top 5.
like a basketball team where you got like 12 guys on the roster,
well, we didn't
and
say
then you
12
have
guys,
like
we
a
said
starting
5.
5. You know, Jack might not be in
I don't
my
think he's
in my starting five, but he's definitely a guy I want on the bench.
There's so many
Yeah, he's
people that you
definitely
can
at least a
choose
guy on the
from.
bench.
Some have powers. You're telling me you're fucking choosing Jack from Speed
Is
instead
he Ben?
the Hulk?
Ben, is he your Derek White? Would he be like Derek White, or is he not good enough?
No, see, Derek White's like a glue guy, you know, like he's bringing the
Yeah.
team together.
the
Jack
fact
does
that
work
Jack
better
is
on his
even
own.
remotely close to any of your top 5 makes me glad that neither of you are in my top 5 so that I can win the apocalypse. That's
Touche.
crazy. That's crazy.
We're gonna have to get into it at some point
Born-
and talk about our top 5,
We've
like
been circling
in
that for a
detail.
while.
So
Born, John Wick, Iron Man?
Have we watched Iron Man?
No.
Doesn't count.
James Bond?
Yeah, but he, you know, he's dead.
The Raid guy?
Yeah.
oh, Eco.
We got it.
Yeah.
We have to do our
Oh.
official list.
Also, I have to correct myself from last
been
week.
teasing.
Ben gave me some shit when he said the Limu Emu joke. I called the gentleman Emu, and it's Eco. So my apologies, good sir, for saying that. So just wanted to set the record straight. That was a
There's this Liberty Mutual insurance.
Hmm.
No free
But if
ads.
you want to sponsor us,
Limu Emu,
And it plays about 10 times during any given sporting event.
It sure does. It sure.
Well,
does.
we got that out of the way. All right.
Let's talk about
we're
something
covering
else.
we're covering a lot of ground here, guys. I love it. I actually was going to skip over this one, but you called me out on the script, so we're gonna get back on schedule here, Ben, because I feel like I disappointed you.
You have.
So next one I have for you is MacGyver Award for most innovative escape, kill, etc.
Getting out of the tunnel
With the Claymore.
with the Claymore.
Definitely the most
Yeah,
innovative
yep.
escape.
Easy.
Haven't seen that before. I also don't think it would work very well.
But it did in the movie.
It did, yeah. You're right. All right, I'm out.
Yeah,
it's
would
not a
it not
documentary,
work?
Tanner. It's not a documentary. That's crazy.
I actually was going to ask you that,
Tanner, because I knew you knew a lot about weapons and
I think it
stuff.
would-
I was gonna
I
genuinely
think it
ask
would
if
work,
it would work
but
or
I
not.
don't think that they were far enough away. I think there'd be a lot of shrapnel. I mean, and I also don't know how well it would work to shoot a claymore from the. Anyway, I think that you're at a large risk because a claymore is like an explosive that's like towards something.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot that could have gone wrong, and they just didn't seem that worried about it. But it's not. He's the explosive expert in the Navy SEALs, so I'll let him.
Apparently, we finally found that out.
Thank God, we were all worried.
Exactly.
But no, that was probably the most innovative escape, certainly, that I can think of.
I agree. I'm gonna give an honorable mention to the Polish penetrator, as they called it, the device that went through the wall, the rods splayed out and they ripped the wall out.
Good.
That was pretty cool, man. That was like that was the Molly. Molly, I think was the name
Molly.
written on her. That was pretty
get a
sweet,
Polish
dude.
penetrator. Just
We should get a Polish penetrator.
Shout out
it was
to
originally
LL
called
Cool J, telling him to sell it on eBay. Like Tanner
LL
and I
Cool
were
J.
talking about what would the shipping cost be on that
2,050
pound thing.
So much money.
No, I think it was more than that. I think it was probably 150, 200 pounds.
But no, he said he was like this weighs
He had
50
muscles.
pounds.
Yeah.
Let's
So,
take 50
unfortunately-
pounds to the post office and put it on the scale.
It's a lot.
When I did the training with the SWAT team, they did not have a Polish penetrator, unfortunately. I asked and they didn't have one. So that was a bummer for me.
Did you really ask?
No, definitely not.
Oh,
No.
that would have been a fun story.
That would have been really
funny
funny. Yeah,
story.
like I would have said,
Funny
"Do you guys
story
have the
for you.
Polish penetrator?" And they're looking at me like, "The what?"
Do you want to be our Polish
It's a very-
penetrator?
Tell me where you want it. Or no, tell Daddy how you want it.
Oh, tell Daddy how you want it.
Tell Daddy how
Only
you
LL
want
Cool
it.
J can pull that off.
Only
Only LL. I think Samuel
what's
L
the-
could probably pull it
What's
off
the
too.
other line? the
You feel me?
you feel me?
Who said
You
that?
feel
It was
me?
someone
First,
didn't
it's
say it.
the boss says it to Samuel L.
Yeah.
And then
that's
later
it.
Samuel L says back over
Yeah.
the radio, you feel me?
Yeah.
Bitch.
I don't think you're feeling me on this, man.
The bitch
You
is
feel-
implied.
You feel me? Oh, that was
So
that was
funny.
cringy.
Not letting Samuel L. Jackson swear.
The
in a
movie,
movie is
basically.
just-
That's a good point. It's
the lack
yeah.
of swearing was upsetting.
It's like having a restrictor plate on a NASCAR. It's like he can't.
Yeah.
The
Like
engine
hearing-
wants to rev
it was like hearing a Biggie song, but on the radio.
on 94.5.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
like, what's happening here?
It'd be like watching Pulp Fiction, with the edits, I'm a mushroom cloud
TBS.
land. Beep, beep.
On TBS.
Yeah.
Yeah. They take
Yeah.
out half the movie.
Have you guys super minor tangent, then we'll get back to it, I promise, but have you guys seen these videos on YouTube where they take popular movies like Pulp Fiction and like ones that have a lot of swears in them and they edit it down to just the swears, like all the shits or all the fucks? I don't know if you've come across those.
I
They're
like
quite-
that, though. That sounds.
They're quite
sounds right up
funny.
my alley.
There's one with Samuel L. Jackson
That's it.
saying fuck and motherfucker, and it's just like fuck, motherfucker, fuck. And it's really funny. And
You sound
every
just like him.
single one of them, I remember what scene they were in. That's the funny part. So it's good stuff. So check it out on YouTube if you guys feel like it.
I'll do that, and I'll watch The Wire on the same day.
My
Okay,
man.
links
What's The
in the
Wire
show
about?
notes
You guys know what The Wire is about?
about spools.
Oh yeah,
What's
have you
the
heard of
first
The Wire?
season about?
Tanner, I will say this one thing about The Wire though, and then I will shut up
It's a
about
funny
it.
story, man.
Oh.
It's a funny story.
It's a funny story.
This is it.
It's a
After
slow burn,
this,
so give
no
it time.
more. That's it?
I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Is
I'm very
that's
invested
a
in The
funny
Wire.
story?
Have you said all you need to say about The Wire?
I
I
don't think so.
I have not, but I will save it for another day. I just have a lot that I needed to talk about with The Wire, apparently.
We can, once I watch The Wire all the way through, then we can do a
You're gonna
podcast
crush
about
The
it.
Wire this weekend, and
Yeah, I think it only
And
take
we'll
me like
report
back to
60, 70 hours probably.
The Wire.
give
Are
me
they
a whole new
hour-
appreciation for this movie.
Are they hour episodes and there's like 5 seasons with
Yeah.
like 25 episodes?
It's
each?
about 50 hours.
Sick. Yeah.
Yeah.
No thanks.
I really could say more, but Ben is.
We know,
he's making
bro.
me-
Belong here.
He's giving the churn signal.
Oh shoot.
Oh, shit.
Favorite lines. We already dropped a couple of them, but
You feel me?
you
Yeah,
feel me?
That was the most
Yeah.
cringy.
I feel
that's
you.
the one where me and Tanner looked at each other
Like,
like,
oh.
oh man,
That was
That's- I
cringe.
feel like now we call that a microaggression.
Yeah.
Oh, easily. Yeah. Absolutely.
Maybe not even a microaggression. Maybe just an aggression. Yeah, regular.
Yeah, he
Regular
shouldn't
size
have,
aggression.
he shouldn't have been able to say that.
That's an HR complaint.
That's an HR.
That's an HR complaint.
Sure. Yeah, I think that's my favorite line because we said it while watching the movie
Yeah.
so often. Yeah, and it just like it hit me
Like,
deep. It was like,
oh.
ew.
It was pretty
Felt-
bad. It was pretty
I felt
bad.
dirty, you know. Yeah. How
Yeah.
about you?
So I've got a few. My favorite, this is super silly, but my favorite line is when they meet that really super professional, courteous, officer, the guy they meet over in the other part of town, and he's eating like the soy hot dog. Vegetarian, he's like, I believe in being courteous, and he's just trying to talk to him
Oh,
about
yeah.
the reality of the job. And they roll up the window and he's like, how the hell can I trust a man who won't eat a good old fashioned American hot dog? It's like,
Yeah.
he's not a man of the people. I feel it. I feel those
He's not.
vibes. I
Times
feel
have
him. I
changed.
feel what he's saying.
Times
have changed.
Yeah.
So
You feel me?
I know plenty of vegans, vegetarians that I would trust with my life.
Do you?
A couple, maybe, that I would consider.
I think I'd have to think about it. But yeah, I get the sentiment.
In the right spot.
like fighting other vegans.
Well, if they have the vegan powers,
They
then
have
they're
SWAT
very
training. Yeah, or the
Well,
vegan
and the-
powers from
and the
Scott
vegan
Pilgrim.
powers from Scott Pilgrim. My other favorite one is sometimes doing the right thing ain't doing the right thing. When the captain says it, it sounds douchey, but then when Samuel L says it when they're taking the car, you're like, all right, this is like
Yeah.
we got to get the job
You
done.
feel me?
gotta kind of be an asshole about it, you know. And then it's stupid also, but you know what they say, you're either SWAT or you're not. It's just like, yeah, sure, I guess.
Yeah.
So
DeMarco says that all the time.
yeah,
SWAT
yeah,
or
it's
not?
exactly.
Yeah,
Just,
SWAT or
you know
not?
what they
just like
say, you're either SWAT or you're not.
you're either
I
SWAT or
hear
you're
him say
not,
it just nonstop, constantly.
all the time, almost
Yeah.
as much as when I talk about The Wire.
Which is one of my favorites.
Yeah. Oh my god.
He's actually had
I'm
time
gonna...
to watch it since we started this podcast.
I watched the whole first season.
He's over here reading recaps, episode recaps.
Oh, please, Tanner, don't do that. Oh, that would hurt my soul. So last category, name you would steal for your own project. Band, artist name, album. So I think SWAT's cool, especially with the band Wasp. It's like, 4-letter word with SW and A. There we go.
I think my list would include SWAT, the Penetrator,
The Penetrator, the Polish Penetrator,
Hondo,
the Hondo roll. I wrote that too.
This team, the Polish
That's exactly
Penetrator,
what I wrote.
and the Catch. It's because I have your notes in front of me.
It's crazy. I know. It's like we're literally on the same page here, Ben.
You fucking absolute twat.
You got me with the first couple, though. I was like, oh shit, man, we really.
I was like, wow, you really thought about this.
Really locked in.
Hondo is like a great horse name, feels like, or like a
Hondo's a great
pet.
horse name,
like a pet, not like a good pet.
Yeah. I like Hondo. I think the Polish Penetrator or the Penetrator is a great name for like.
Yeah, that's like, hey, I was crashing at your place and I found your Polish Penetrator.
Or they called me the Polish Penetrator in high school.
Yeah, Tanner, just do a Google search later on that and see what comes up. Report back to us later.
I already ordered it from Amazon. Molly.
Excellent. I hope it's going to arrive in discreet packaging.
Molly, yeah, it's on its way. It'll be here at between 4 a.m. and 8 a.m.
Oh my god. Oh, that's hilarious.
Molly was the name of the
ram thing.
Of the ram.
Yeah. Why? By the way, isn't that just a thing that they have? It's just a ram.
Yeah, but it's not that.
But it was a ram that had rockets and fired a harpoon
that penetrated. Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't like for the other guy to be like, ram. You're crazy thinking this is ever gonna be a thing, and it's just like it is a thing. It's just two things that we already have.
In real life, they have something that sticks out of the front of the truck, and they just like basically drive into the wall.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I think so. Don't quote me on that.
What is the guy saying? Die Hard. Oh, look, the police have themselves an RV.
The police have themselves an RV. That one of my favorite lines of his too is "'Twas the night before Christmas." Definitely a better representation of the SWAT team in this movie versus in Die Hard, because they just get fucking destroyed.
Yeah,
the FBI and the SWAT.
Die Hard, they're not even a thing.
They last about 2.5 minutes in Die Hard.
Yeah, and the quarterback is toast.
Is that where that movie where they're coming down the side and they're doing the hut, right? When they're
oh yeah, you're right.
It's
going
so
down
funny.
Out of the building.
Yeah.
Well, he's running. One of the guys is running and he brushes his hand on a bush or something, and he's like, It's just the movie's really, it's so funny. Oh man. But we'll save that for the Die Hard pod, which will come up one day.
Die Hard is not, and this movie is a hot term. Propaganda.
I thought we were talking.
Oh yeah.
Tanner didn't want me to say that.
Wait,
but here we are. This is basically Paw Patrol.
Right as we started,
this is basically Paw Patrol. Oh no.
It's like, look at how cool it is.
Ben was like, we support propaganda, and I was like, we should leave that out. And here we are.
When I was 13 watching this, that was my very next thought was, this looks really awesome. I want to do this. So
boy.
And on this day, Action Club was canceled.
No, but so when you watch like a Michael Bay movie, and you can tell he has all the support of the military behind him.
Oh, it's a military. Yeah. Oh, agreed.
Yeah, it's the same thing with this movie where it's like, this is cops liked this movie and like cooperated in the making of it, you know?
Oh, absolutely.
I can't believe he said it.
Oh man.
I really thought we were gonna leave that out. It'll just like jump cut to the outro. Going out.
I will say one thing I forgot to mention that I'll do a quick mention on. This soundtrack fucking rips, dude.
Story. Oh, we were talking about
that during the movie.
Rolling Stones, Jimi Hendrix, Jane's Addiction. It's pretty badass, dude. And actually, funny story. Super quick story. I saw Jane's Addiction live a couple years ago at a festival.
Well, that's badass. Okay.
And I saw them
before they tried to kill each other.
Story.
Oh,
what's that?
This is before they tried to kill each other or whatever.
That was literally just a story. Yeah. No, we just saw them.
Oh, all right.
So, but it was good times. But I heard when they started playing that song, just because I had forgotten that it was a Jane's Addiction song, and then when they started playing it on the on the stage, I thought, oh shit, that's a song from SWAT. I remember that, the little montage where they're clearing the rooms.
You did not, really?
And 100%, yeah. I heard the song. I was like, all right, it's from SWAT. Yeah,
I believe him too, which is
wild,
yeah.
So, I mean, I think we've figured out that I was definitely like the prime demographic for this film. 13-year-old kid watching this action movie about cops, thinking this looks cool.
Oh, totally. I don't think I've seen
Come
it
on,
since
Tanner.
2003.
I haven't seen it in a long time. I mean, I definitely have seen it, but I just didn't remember it.
I remembered enough.
I didn't remember shit.
I didn't remember all the like Degrassi Junior High drama stuff in the beginning.
Well, boys, I love it. I love the energy. We had a little fun. You guys brought us further out into the deep end. So don't be getting on to me for my tangents. Oh man, but want to thank all of you so much for tuning in. This has been another fun episode of the Action Club, and we'll see you fuckers next time.
See ya.
Peace.